Hello and welcome to another Stamp with Amy K Facebook Live video. And if you give me just 1 second, I'm going to make sure that I am live out here where I want to be. And feel free to hop on and say hello if you're out there watching. I am also going to put this over into our World Card Making Day our World Card Making Day group. So anybody who's watching over there will be able to see it as well. So I'm just taking a minute to do that right now. Hopefully, yep, looks like we're all ready and set to go there, so we should be good to go. And all right, so hopefully I can see all your comments and things coming in here as well. So if you're hopping on, feel free to say hello, and thanks again for joining. So all right, I think I'm set to see, I can see comments hopefully and see who's coming in to watch as well. So all right, so today I have sort of the perfect storm of loudness that's going on outside here shortly. The lawn guys have just arrived, so I'm sure that you'll hear blowers going in just a minute, and I apologize about that. We also have someone here who's doing some work on the pool, and so he's like right outside my window doing that, so you're going to probably hear all sorts of things. Oh yeah, and my younger daughter's in the room right next door to me, coloring and talking, and so it's going to be quite entertaining. But anyway, so here we are. We've got a little card that I made today with the Snowfront stamp set, which this is one from the holiday catalog, one of my favorite ones. You can stamp any sort of holiday scene, Christmas scene, winter scene, fall scene, whatever you want to do with it. And again, as I said in my last video, I've got tons and tons of fall birthdays. So I have made another birthday card. I know, shocking. So this one I put together with the Snowfront stamp set. So again, already took a peek at that. So I'm going to set that one aside and set my card aside, and hopefully don't make a mess of that. The sentiment on it was actually from the Seasonal Wreaths stamp set, and it's the Celebrate Your Day is what I've put on the front of it. So again, this is from the holiday catalog. So I will go ahead and get going on that. The designer series paper that I used on the background is actually from the Gather Together, Come To Gather is the name of the designer series paper that this is from, which again is also from the holiday catalog. So just cut a little panel, and the details for this card I'm going to be posting out on my blog on Monday, so I will try again to remember to give you the measurements of everything. But this is a piece of designer series paper that's cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And we're going to do a little bit of heat embossing again on this one. So I've set this up on my Stamparatus. And I like to do that when I'm stamping directly on designer series paper like this, just because when you make, if you have anything that doesn't stamp perfectly and you're sort of on your, this is my final piece of paper, I want to make sure that I get it right. So that is one nice thing about Stamparatus, is you can sort of make sure that you get it right. And if it doesn't look quite right, you can always restamp it. Which hopefully I think I got it on there pretty well. We will find out in just 1 second, and if I don't, then we will stamp it again here in a second. So I've got gold Stampin' Emboss powder. We're going to sprinkle a little bit of that on the area where I did the stamping. And it looks like I got a decent image. Now if I can get it embossed without smudging it, then I think we are good to go on this one. I'm going to use my heat tool again on the level 2 setting. It's got the 2 settings. The level 1 will dry, and level 2 is for heat embossing. Hey Kathy, thanks to everybody for hopping on. Hi, I see Mary's here and Beth is here. And again, probably a whole bunch of people that I missed because I'm busy talking and not watching the comments come through. All right, so I'm going to get the heat embossing going here. Hope that you guys have been enjoying the day. I know we've been having a lot of fun presenting and posting out some funny little notes. Hopefully you guys are enjoying and having fun leaving comments and reading each other's comments. I know we're having a lot of fun doing that too. So, all right, got that heat embossed. Gonna give it just a second, let it cool down before I stick my fingers on it, because I know that I will smudge it if I go immediately and start putting my fingers on it. So I will go ahead and put some multi-purpose liquid glue. This is Early Espresso cardstock, and I've got it cut to 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 and scored at 4 1/4. So again, the details will be out on my blog, which is stampwithamyk.com. It will be out there on Monday, but like I said, just in the meantime, I'm going to try to remember to keep telling you the measurements on things. But sometimes I start talking and forget what I'm supposed to be saying and just, you know, just talk a lot. So, all right, let me get this glued down here flat and hopefully straight on the piece of paper. All right, I think I got it pretty well. Okay, so that's the background card base on here. Hi, Lynn, and hey, Lisa. Well, I'm glad that you're enjoying it. Like I said, we've been having a lot of fun doing it, and like I said, we just might have to do it again sometime soon if you are enjoying it as well. So, all right, so I'm going to start stamping with the snow front images, and I kind of used a whole bunch of different ones, and I know that this stamp set can be a little intimidating when you first look at it, but it's actually fairly easy to use. The main thing that you need to remember when you're doing this type of an image or this type of a design is to kind of start with your horizon line or whatever is going to be in the middle of your picture, and then either build up or down from there. So that's one thing that I have learned with it is my first cards when I was trying with these types of stamp sets, I'd start at the bottom and try to build up. And then the next thing I knew, all my stuff was stamped up off the top of the page, not where I wanted it. So I have discovered and found that if you start stamping kind of right in the middle where you want your things to be, and then build up and then build down from there, or the other way around, down and then up, then it works very well. And yep, I can hear the blowers are going in the yard, so I apologize. It's probably going to get really loud in here with all these people around. So, all right, so I'm going to start with a little bit of early espresso ink. And hey, Sarah, thanks for jumping and joining in. And I'm going to stamp the little cabin or house or whatever you want to call it image in early espresso. Oh boy, I don't think I could have timed this video like any worse. So as the pool guy showed up, and I thought, oh, that's not good. And then I heard the lawn guys coming down the street, and I'm like, oh, that's really not good. So I will try to talk loud and talk over the top of it. But all right, so we got a little bit of shaded spruce that I'm going to stamp the tree images in next. And I actually just used all three of the trees and sort of just randomly stamped them around. I can't say that, you know, as I'm doing this, I'm sure it will turn out a little bit differently than it did when I did the initial images. Try to get it somewhat similar. But again, I did some that were stamped full strength, some that were kind of stamped off, a few here, there, and everywhere. And oh my, the lawn guys, yeek. I should have tried to yell at them, but I'm not sure that they would have stopped. So tell them to leave. Yeah, they don't know who they're, yeah. Clearly they don't know who I am. Is that it? Anyway, so that's funny. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of stamping with the small tree a few times around here. I think we'll stick one maybe here and another one maybe back there. That should be good. Now here's the little medium-sized tree that we're going to stamp a few times on here as well. And I think we'll put that one here. And again, you can just sort of stamp it however. There's no set, rhyme or reason to how I did it. I just sort of stamped images that I thought looked nice and tried to do a little bit of a tree line with it. And now I'm going to use the big tree image, and we're going to stamp that in the lower left corner here a couple of times. And this, I don't know, I actually like the big tree image the best. I'm not really sure why, but I guess it's a little more detailed than the other ones are, so that's why I kind of like it a little bit better. But, all right, so I think we've got the trees mostly done here. All right, let me set that one aside. The next one that I used was a little bit of gray granite ink, and I used that for the mountains in the background. Do a little quick stamp in here. And just sort of stamped it up and over tried to get it behind the tree line a little bit, and make sure that I didn't stamp over too much of the house. That was my other goal with it. Maybe I think I'll just stick a little bit in over here. All right, so I think we're good on the mountains. I'll recruit them. I like it. I'll give it a try. And I'm sure that the guys out there doing the lawn and the pool stuff will be fascinated by my stamping skills. Have them come in and watch the video. I'm sure that they will be like, oh yes, I'll be happy to join. All right, so we've got a little bit of balmy blue ink that I'm going to use to stamp the water image that we've got here. which I guess it's water. It's more like a big glob. So you could stamp it and have it be anything you want, but I'm calling it water today. And then the last thing that we have to add to this scene is I use the little deer image, the image of the two deer, however you want to say it, and use a little soft suede ink, and we're going to stamp the deer standing over here next to the water. So that's basically it. I mean, like I said, it's the stamp set initially, like I said, it can be a little intimidating, but just take a minute and figure out where you want the middle of it to be. Put your middle line out there, your horizon line, whatever you want to call it, and then build up and down from there, and then you've got your scene. But like I said, the one thing that I would recommend not doing is either I wouldn't start at the top and I wouldn't start at the bottom, because the spacing will end up all kinds of crazy. I can guarantee you that. So, all right, so we've got that part done. Going to use a little bit of snail to adhere it to the a big glob. I know. I'm so professional when it comes to my stamping and all my terminology and everything. So I'm going to use a little bit of snail. We're going to adhere this to the card front. And it's a little bit off-center, but what I tried to do was line it up here and here, because I was going to put a little bit of some greenery that I had cut with it. And I guess I forgot to say, goodness, I get busy talking and these yard guys have me all distracted. So I actually had pre-cut this, and then I grabbed the wrong die. I'm just a train wreck this afternoon. I had pre-cut this with one of the stitched rectangle dies. So basically just cut a piece of Whisper White cardstock and then started stamping on that. When I very first tried to do this card, I actually tried to do just stamp on the Whisper White and then cut it out, but because I couldn't tell where the edges were going to be at, I had a hard time with that. So it was easier for me just to cut it to the size that I wanted it and then do my stamping from there. All right, so let me set those aside. The next thing that I did was cut a little bit of a shaded spruce cardstock with one of the dies. And of course, the die name is totally escaping my head, but it's with the Itty Bitty Christmas, it's bundled with the Itty Bitty Christmas stamp set. So hopefully somebody on the team can hop on and tell me which one it was. But it's the die from the Itty Bitty Christmas bundle. And like I said, I don't know. I can't remember the name of the die set. So adding a little bit of multi-purpose liquid glue to the back of that, just in a couple little dots here and there. I'm trying not to put too much on, just because it does tend to ooze a little bit, and if you get too heavy-handed with it, then you end up with a big glob of glue in addition to your big glob of lake that you already had. So just adding a couple little spots here and there. Christmas layers dies. I knew somebody would hop on with it. I just couldn't. I couldn't come up with it. I'm like So I actually had intended to write it down so I wouldn't forget, but things happen. All right, so then I just took this and started up in the corner and figured out where I wanted the corner to be, placed it down here. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. And then adhered it down with a little bit of the liquid glue that I've got on the back. And it does take a second when you use, particularly on the back of these little intricate die cuts, when you use the liquid glue, you want to hold it down for just a second. Nice tweezers. I don't know where I got these from. Some random stranger on the street gave them to me and told me how much they loved them, and now they use them for everything. So, all right. So because I couldn't help myself, and I know that I try not to use all brand new things. Okay, well, I don't really try not to, but sometimes I try not to use all brand new things. But I love these gold glitter enamel dots, and these are from the new Christmas Time is Here bundle and product suite that will be coming starting on November 1st for customers. Demonstrators can pre-order it. So these are included in that. And I love these dots. They're so pretty. And I think that I will be using them on just about everything. So just added a couple of these little glitter enamel dots just sort of randomly around the edge here on the card front. One more little one up here, kind of hidden in the greenery up here. All right, and that's basically it for the card front. So super fast, super simple. Just a little bit of stamping on Whisper White. Did a little bit of stamping on the Designer Series paper as well. A little die cut, and the card front is done. The other really nice piece about this is one of those that you could actually mail with just a single stamp too. It's not super thick. These little enamel dots are smooth enough that they'll run right through with just a regular envelope. You may want to put a little piece of paper over the top just to make sure they don't get caught in any of the machines, but otherwise this should work perfectly. So on the inside of the card, I did a little bit of stamping as well. So I used the sentiment from the seasonal wreaths stamp set, which says Happy Everything. And I stamped that in Early Espresso ink in the middle. So here we are with that. And again, I apologize for the blower noise outside. The lawn guys decided to show up just as I was getting ready to go live. So I know, can't imagine what would go wrong with that. All right, it's got a little Early Espresso ink. And this time around, I actually stamped my cabin in soft suede instead of Early Espresso to give it a little bit of a different look. Stamp the cabin over here. And then added a couple of shaded spruce trees around the edges. Use the bigger one. I'll stamp that one right up here next to the cabin. And I think we'll stamp it here next to the edge. And then the medium-sized one I think we'll stick in right here. And then a couple of my favorite bigger trees we'll stamp right over here. And I think that's good for the inside of the card. So just use the little snail and we will stick the inside of the card together here. So again, thanks to everybody for coming out, and hopefully you're having a wonderful World Card Making Day as well, and are getting a few cards made and getting a few cards that'll be mailed out hopefully very soon, next week or at Christmas or whatever it is you're going to do them. So I hope that you're all enjoying the day and doing a little stamping along with us. Just doing a quick crease with the bone folder, and that is it for my card share this afternoon. So we've got a couple of them done here. 2 more birthday cards that are ready to get out in the mail. So thank you so much for joining me today. Let me know if you guys have any questions about anything. And again, we've been having a lot of fun reading your comments and laughing right along with you today with all the craziness that we've been posting. So thank you for joining us. And again, let us know if you want us to do this again. We just might have to do it again sometime soon. So thanks again for joining. Have a fantastic rest of the day. We do have a presentation from somebody. It will be our very first ever Facebook Live presentation at 4 o'clock this afternoon. And then we have a couple more. One will be at 7 o'clock this evening and another one at 8 o'clock this evening. And then you have until 10 o'clock tonight to leave your comments and be entered to win any of the prizes that we're giving away today. And we'll announce the winners tomorrow. So thanks again for joining. And let me know if you have questions. Again, have a great rest of your day.